Hey folks, Fernando doing another video here for the Modern Survivalist, and I want you guys to listen to this video. You've probably heard it before and seen it in other places, but this is the Modern Survivalist channel. I talk about survival and preparedness, and this would be one of those topics that, in general, that channels that do that type of content, they kind of avoid this because it is politically incorrect. You kind of get people on the other side of the political spectrum pissed and such, and you may end up losing subscribers, views and such. And knowing what I know, having seen firsthand how this affects your quality of life, your survivability, the one of your family as well, I just cannot see how you can avoid talking about this, especially something as serious as this is. This is not some crazy random old man talking, ranting to the clouds. This is the President of the United States saying these things. And you should be listening to what he has to say. Let's first objectively listen to what he says and then try to analyze that a little bit, okay?
Bulging on their, as they were screaming. Remember, just close your eyes and picture what it was. Well, Mother Fletcher said when she saw the insurrection at the Capitol on January the 9th, it broke her heart. A mob of violent white extremists, thugs, said reminded her of what happened here in Greenwood 100 years ago.
So, the Capitol, it wasn't just white people. It was conservatives. It was white people. There were black people there as well. There was Latinos, brown, yellow, Asian, all sorts of conservative people were in that Capitol that day. And they were protesting outside as well. And they walked in peacefully. When we've seen so many mostly peaceful protests burn down entire blocks of American cities, this was a peaceful event actually. There was, nothing, no destruction whatsoever. They actually walked in, and there's actually lots of footage of how, in most cases, they were just walking into the place. And you could see in that same footage, you could see lots of black people, lots of Asians walking in. They were not white supremacists. These were conservative Americans. But that's a new code word for conservative. It is white supremacist. Doesn't matter if you're not even white. If you're black, you're still a white supremacist. You wouldn't be one of these weird, strange, black white supremacists, I guess, because that's what he's saying here. He's saying that everyone that went into the building that day is a white supremacist, which is not true. So we're being gaslighted. We're being told to our faces that reality isn't so. Because that is the trick the left has been doing for a while now. I'm going to be doing a series of videos of commie tactics, tricks from the left. This would be one of the main ones. Lying to your face, telling you that something is simply not so. I mean, they've been doing this all along. I mean, we are living in a world where a man can be a woman can be a man, and a man can be a dragon or a unicorn. And it is, reality is objective. Reality is not a fact anymore. Sun comes up every day. No, it really is a matter of opinion if it happens or not. But I'm actually seeing it. This is a physical fact. Nope, I think different. I have a different opinion on that. This is the kind of crazy we're talking, where biology doesn't matter, math doesn't matter. Even math can be racist, guys, these days. Okay? He's going back, as you just heard, 100 years ago, trying to revive hatred and racism as it was 100 years ago. Because he needs that now. He needs that kind of division, that kind of hate is politically advisable for what they're trying to build right now in the United States.
Look around at the various hate crimes against Asian Americans and Jewish Americans. Hate that never goes away. Hate only hides. Jesse, I think I mentioned...
Again, rebuilding, recreating reality. Racism never went away. We are still living basically like in the times of slaves, where people were enslaved because of the color of their skin. That never changed. It was all just hidden. We're still living like we did 100 years ago, and you should be outraged and angry and pissed about it. He is going for this narrative very strongly. Okay, and he's talking about the attacks on nation. It's always white people that attack? It's always white supremacists? It's always white people that attack others because of the color of their skin? Really? It's only white people? I'm actually pretty sure I've seen people of other ethnicities doing exactly the same thing.
This to you, I thought after you guys pushed through with Dr. King, the Voting Rights Act.
Dr. King wouldn't be the guy that said don't judge people by the color of their skin, which is exactly what they've been doing since they took office, literally judging people by the color of their skin only and never taking into account the character. I think Dr. King had an opinion about that.
I thought we were moved. What I didn't realize, I thought we had made enormous progress, and I was so proud to be a little part of it. But you know what, Rev? I didn't realize hate's never defeated.
Look at this scene here. Look at how he has, like in a little corral, he has a bunch of black people. These are placed there on purpose, strategically so. I would be so pissed if I was told to sit in a specific position so as to be the background of a politician, so as to serve that just based on the color of my skin. They're sitting me in a place. You know, if I was ever told, you come here and because of your skin tone, you sit here with these other people that have somewhat of the same skin tone as you have, because this serves us well politically. That would be extremely racist. I would be extremely offended by something like that. Being used like a piece of like a prop in a movie because of the color of my skin, and being put in a little corral there in the background so as to be in the scene, in the picture, in the frame.
It only hides. It hides.
It hides.
Give them a little bit of oxygen. Just a little bit of oxygen by his leaders.
He's the one giving the oxygen.
From under the rock, like it was happening again, as if it never went away.
No.
So, folks,
Again, look at it. Never went away. It is still here, and a little bit of oxygen. And talking about this again, and we've never evolved. We've never changed. This was always the same 100 years ago, and I'm being told it's the exact same thing. This is all planned. This is all part of that narrative. That narrative of hatred. You have to be extremely pissed because you're still basically a slave. We've never changed anything in the last 100 years. So this is a kind of division that serves these politicians so well, and this is what they want. This is how they're getting their political points.
Must not give hate a safe harbor. As I said in my address to the joint session of Congress,
listen to
according
this.
To the intelligence community, terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today. Not ISIS, not Al Qaeda, white supremacists. That's not me. That's the intelligence.
The most lethal threat to the United States, it's not Al Qaeda, it's not ISIS, actual terrorists that blew up pieces of the United States, killing thousands of people. No, that's not the greatest threat. The greatest threat is conservative white people, or basically conservative people. That is, when he says white supremacists, that is code for conservatives. It doesn't even matter if you're white or not. You can be any color. It doesn't matter. As long as you're a conservative, you are a white supremacist. And that is the greatest threat, most lethal threat to the United States right now. This is the kind of insanity that is not coming out of a deranged, crazy person. It's coming out of the President of the United States right now. And it is not accidental. This is all orchestrated. This is all on purpose. The words being used. We've talked about this in this channel. In my channel, we talked about how they've been talking about, conservatives are worse than ISIS, worse than terrorists, which would be considered complete lunacy. I mean, you're still waging war against these people that have been actively trying to kill you for decades now. But those are not as bad as white conservatives. Are we crazy? Have we lost our minds entirely? What kind of insanity is this? Well, it's not insanity. It is all planned. It is all planned and being executed as we speak. This is all what you're seeing happening right now. This is why crime rates are going up. This is why hate is going up. Division is going up. And you're gonna be seeing more of this, guys. This is why they're hiring the Emma with two moms, ads for the U.S. Army because they're looking for people that are going to be coming after that sort of folks, after conservatives. Because as the ad from the military said, Emma has been fighting for freedom even before she knew she was doing so, because they consider that going after conservatives is, you're fighting for freedom. You're fighting people that are worse than terrorists. You're fighting people that are worse than ISIS, for crying out loud. That is what conservatives are considered right now by their own government in the United States. It is insanity, guys. It is crazy, but it is very concerning. I mean, I've seen similar things happening in my own country. The way in which the narrative later turns into actual persecution towards people, journalists, even small-time businessmen, small business owners being bullied, attacked, persecuted financially, legally. I mean, making their lives impossible. People that actually quit and just said, okay, I'm done here. I'm gone. I'm not living like this anymore. You could even say that I'm that sort of folk. I just understood that you were in such a hostile climate that life was going to be unpleasant for you. And it is unpleasant for a lot of people. When you see this happen, and it wasn't as bad as what you're seeing right now from the President of the United States. It wasn't nearly as bad. He's calling you worse than ISIS. You're worse than a terrorist. So what do you do? I mean, ask yourself, what is it that you do with a terrorist? Well, this is what the U.S. government is actually doing. You're blowing them up with drones, right? I mean, am I wrong? Let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong. If you're not waging war against the people that are not as bad as conservatives, by the words of the President of the United States right now. What is that you do with those people? Exactly. So this is laying the ground, this is laying the foundation for what you're seeing in the near future, if not already in many ways. Okay, guys? Folks, that is it. It's not about, exaggerating things. This is what you just heard, in a very clear, not taking out of context anything. This is what's being said right now. Folks, prepare, because things are not going to be getting any better anytime soon based on what you're seeing. As always, for you guys that are new to the channel, consider getting street survival skills. You're definitely going to be needing it. No doubt whatsoever. Based on all of that, you're going to be needing to be smarter, safer, more careful out there on the streets. And for the economic stuff, economic collapse sort of stuff, Surviving the Economic Collapse, my first book. Links for both of those are going to be there below, available in Amazon. Guys, take care. Have an awesome day. See you in the next video.